know what she said. She might just change your life.
And welcome back. I'm Christine Bentley with Sharon Caddy, and we have Kathy Buckworth in studio. And for the first time ever,
I didn't know.
Sharon is stumped as to who is singing that song. So we're going to have to ask Cassandra.
Oh,
Okay.
Isn't it Neil Young?
Neil Young.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely sounds like Neil Young. I just don't know this song.
You know
It's a
the
great
most
song.
obscure people, and you don't know Neil Young?
I know. Shame
Oh,
on me.
Shame on you.
Oh
Shame.
my goodness.
Hey, Kathy Buckworth, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in disguise first
you look
thing
like
in
a
the morning.
superhero
Yes,
or something.
you do. And you know what? We didn't even give her the Baileys and coffee.
Not
option.
yet.
No,
Not
not
yet.
yet.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is a mask I'm wearing that I made in Venice, actually, and it's sort of on theme. I'm going to take it off, or I won't be able to see my notes. But it's something I did in Venice, and I'm going to be talking today about how they celebrate Halloween around the world.
Yeah.
Because we obviously know how we celebrate it in North America, and
Well,
it's an
yeah.
expensive holiday here.
It is.
The average Canadian will spend about $80 to $100 on Halloween. That's a lot, and I think it's more when you have more than that. You know, one kid's costume, if you buy it, can cost you $40 or $50.
Never mind the I think that $80 is on candy.
Well,
Yeah, probably.
And the
probably.
way people decorate their houses now.
It's crazy.
Years ago, I know
Yeah.
the odd one did, but a lot of people break out the Halloween decor.
Absolutely, they have as much as they have for Christmas.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so and it's fun for the kids. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna, it is fun for the kids. So, I mean, Halloween really is a North American holiday in Canada and the U.S., but it has slowly been bleeding out to the rest of the world, and so some of that will be reflected in what I talk about. But I did find just this morning there was a release out on the best Halloween destination in the world, as adjudicated by USA Today.
And
Okay.
where is
and?
it?
And drumroll, it's in Derry, Ireland, actually.
Ooh.
Ireland.
And Halloween is Ireland's most ancient festival, believe it or not, a potent potion of pagan and Christian meanings. This is what it's saying in this release that they put out. And it's the biggest Halloween celebration in Europe.
Do they trick or treat?
Well, it's more of a ghoulish sort of celebration. Now, I understand that in many parts of Britain, kids are starting to go out trick-or-treating in the last 10 years, actually, in costumes and candy and stuff. But their celebration is more based on sort of the famous Derry walls, the castle inside there, and they have wailing witches, vampires, ghosts. 40,000 people turn up for this. So it's that's a neat place to put on your to-do list.
Yeah.
If you want to...
I mean, that's more of it's sort of like going to, the middle of town,
Yeah.
everybody going and
Yeah.
celebrating that way
This
rather
big
than house
festival.
to house.
Exactly.
Like a festival.
Absolutely, and kids go as well. And actually, I was at an event this week, and I met some people from Tourism Scotland, and they said they do a whole thing as well around sleeping in haunted castles on Halloween
Oh, I'd do
Eve,
that.
which
I
is
wouldn't.
awesome.
I would
So
totally.
I'm afraid of ghosts.
Oh,
I
Kathy,
would
you're
never.
on. Let's do it.
Right? I
Yeah.
think it would be super cool to do a tour somewhere where it's very historic like
A
that.
haunted sleepover.
The Honda sleepover. And this morning on my Facebook page and also on Twitter, I posted a picture of myself in front of Stephen King's home in
love
in
him.
Bangor, Maine. I was there about 4 or 5 years ago, and outside his home, and it's everything you hope Stephen King's house would look like, with turrets and sort of spiderweb gates and bats. And apparently, he used to hire people to walk his front yard as zombies while he gave out candy, but they were getting over 1,500 people turning up for his house. So he doesn't do that anymore. But apparently, all around his neighborhood,
Because he can't afford candy for
Yeah,
1,500 people?
I guess, right?
Oh
I
my
guess he
goodness.
can. But anyway, Bangor, Maine is a big place for Halloween if you want to go there because all the neighbors still do it. I talked a little bit about Britain. Really, in the past, they would celebrate something called Guy Fawkes Day on November the 5th, which is also bonfire night. They would make, burn Guy Fawkes in effigy, and it was this big sort of very historical thing when the Catholics were blowing up Parliament, that sort of thing. So, as they do. So that has been eclipsed apparently now by Halloween, much to the chagrin of some of the real, stalwart Brits, but the kids love it. So it's very much a trick-or-treating event in Britain now, which is, nice for the kids,
Yeah.
but and hopefully they'll hang on to a bit of their history as well. You may know this in Mexico, really they celebrate the Day of the Dead.
Yes.
Instead of Halloween per se. And it's really, it's a public holiday. It's celebrated October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd to coincide with some other things like All Souls Day, All Saints Day. It's very much a tribute to those who have passed is what they sort of celebrate it as. And they visit graves with gifts. However, recently, again, trick-or-treating has gone into there and people dressing up at bars and nightclubs as well. well. But the Day of the Dead is a very sort of solemn ceremony that still goes on there. And if you've ever been there at that time, it's beautiful. The costumes and they dress in face paint and all kinds of very awesome. Anyway, it's a really cool thing to see if you ever end up in Mexico at that time. Halloween is a relatively new thing in France. People will say it's a Celtic or Celtic celebration for centuries, but they do celebrate it there on November the 1st. They call it, again, it's All Saints Day there, and it's a sad celebration when they mourn their dead, go to the cemetery to clean up the tombs, but it's really not much of a trick-or-treating sort of thing going on in France. I have a niece actually working in China, so she's teaching over there, and I reached out to her and said, so what's going on in China? She's teaching at a kids' school, and she said the kids really don't celebrate it there. It's not a trick-or-treat, dress-up thing, but she said adults do. They go to clubs.
Oh, that's funny.
Really?
Yeah, they go to clubs and things and dress up. So she's actually dressed up as a poisoned strawberry. I'm not sure what that is. But anyway, her friend is Snow White teaching at the school. But she said in the school itself, it's not really a kid thing. It's a clubbing thing. So there we go. If you're clubbing in China on Halloween.
I'm curious, though, in China, whether this would be, because they have become westernized as they've sort of moved up from lower middle class to upper middle class to quite wealthy. And is this just a North American tradition that they've adopted?
Perhaps they have
in the adult world.
In the adult world,
but maybe culturally, it's not been part of their
and
deal.
the internet would have spread all.
Of
I mean,
course.
all the social media. They'd
Of
be
course.
seeing all the North American postings of all this Halloween stuff.
That's right, and they have so many festivals in China. They really do. They probably don't even have space in their calendar to add.
You're
an
right.
add
You're
event.
absolutely
and they
right.
and I don't have the timing out of it, unfortunately, but they have something called the Festival of Hungry Ghosts, which is
That sounds fun.
Which is fun. Angry spirits are offered food and gifts to pacify
Sharon,
them.
Sharon's completely into the
So-
ghost theme here.
I know.
She's
awesome.
She's gonna follow hungry ghosts, and
Yeah.
she's gonna sleep in haunted castles.
Yep.
I know.
And
I
what
know.
else?
In Austria.
Oh.
You may be wondering about Austria. It's a week of, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Selenwoche, Selenwoche. It goes from October 30th to November 8th. So it's a week. But it overlaps on Halloween, and they really just leave out bread and water and a lamp on the table before bedtime to welcome dead souls.
That's not fun.
So it's not. I was going to say in some places it's quite a solemn, thing. In other places it's go clubbing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a funny thing. Dominican Republic, again, they celebrate things sort of all year round in terms of there's a lot of voodoo influences and things like that in the Dominican, and they are a very superstitious country as well. So there is some celebrating there, but Dominican as well as I was checking on Cuba because my daughter flew there this morning and she's like, Mom, do they celebrate Halloween in Cuba? Traditionally, no, but of course if you're going to a resort,
They're going to.
Well,
it's
resorts
excuse
have
for a
a-
party.
There's a costume thing every week at a resort somewhere.
I was in Mexico once on St. Patrick's Day and they celebrated it. Like it seemed wrong. They dressed a poor hotel employee as a leprechaun, put him on a canoe, and we all threw green water balloons at him. I have no idea what that was about. It seemed really mean. But
Are you kidding? The homeland of tequila, and they're celebrating St. Patrick's Day
I
with
know.
green beer?
Why not?
I know, it was really
I
bizarre.
found even I was in Jamaica at Sandals once, and there was no holiday whatsoever. But you know what? When there's no reason to dress up, they do Pirate Day.
yeah, right?
Yeah. And we had a pirate party. It was
Isn't
fun.
everyday pirate day
Every day,
really?
arr.
So exactly. So it's funny doing the research on this because what I really found is, as I said, it went from the very solemn, sort of honoring the dead to just clubbing and everything sort of in between. And I think you're absolutely right, Sharon, when you say that the internet has caused the spread of a very North American tradition. And what's funny though in North America is what I'm discovering is that in the United States now, what's becoming common is, and I really don't support this, it's called trunk and treat. And what that is, worried helicopter parents drive to a big parking lot, a lit parking lot, back their cars in, and stand around their trunks, and the kids walk trunk to trunk and collect candy. Like, seriously? Like, that's not fun.
No.
Like, it takes
Why
away...
do they do that?
I
what?
guess to take away the door-to-door.
Is it so that the
aspect?
dads feel like they're maybe at a tailgate party?
Yeah,
but
maybe,
not
yeah.
really?
Well, I like that explanation better than I'm worried about letting my kid walk around my own
Yeah.
neighborhood,
Well,
which is kind of
when the kids were
scary.
small, taking my kids out door to door was like that was my fun.
Nice.
I was like, "Are you ready yet? Let's go!"
I know.
And I would love it. And all my friends from the neighborhood. Sometimes it was that chance we had to catch up with each
Have
other.
a glass of wine, maybe.
Like Christy
Well,
said, that coffee
yeah.
with Bailey's in
Yeah.
it in the thermos mug. It was fun.
It's the first year at my house. My youngest is 13, so it's the first year no one's going out. And I think my husband's more disappointed than anyone. He's already dressed like a vampire for no reason today. So, he's walking around work like that. I'm like, honey, you can't walk around the neighborhood like that alone tonight. It's creepy. So.
That, of course, is the other big discussion, when it's too old.
Yeah, and you know what? I go back and forth on that. My 13-year-old son is taller than I am, and I think height has a lot to do with that. But I also feel like kids know when it's too late. I say, you're going to go out 1 year and feel like, oh, I'm too old for this. Yeah. And I do give kids candy who come around in just the hockey jersey or whatever. They're out having fun. I don't know. There was a funny article written, and I can't remember who by, but about, why aren't teenagers doing what we used to do and sit and drink in the bushes somewhere? Why are they going out looking for candy? And I'm like, maybe that's a good point.
Yeah, but do you ever refuse? Would you refuse a 19, 20-year-old?
Oh, I haven't had anyone that old.
Oh,
no.
I have.
I haven't had anyone that old.
Nothing like a man coming to the door, trick or treat.
Yeah, that's scary. I might turn that down.
Yeah.
But I think, everyone has their own rules about what the age. And, it's a fun, let the kids have fun. Let them go out.
Well, have a good time this Halloween and tell your husband not to be too creepy.
Don't be creepy. The creepy banker. No, that's his.
That's Kathy Buckworth and her husband, the creepy banker vampire. Stay with us. Lots more to come. This is What She Said on SiriusXM 167 Canada Talks.
It's funny.
Ooh.
Woo. Get my mask on again. Woo. Is it upside down? It's upside down.
There you go.
It's upside down.
Click the channel subscribe button for full-length interviews and more from What She Said here on YouTube.